All right, so I'm in the process of growing my trading account to $1 million. It's currently sitting at, right now at this moment, $774,000. So I've got another little over 200K to go to get there. And I've been sharing the analysis for all these trades since I started this account like 6 or 7 months ago in my free Telegram channel. I'll put a link in the description and the pinned comment where you can join it. It's completely free. And now I've started doing these little quiz things where I ask you, okay, what do you think? You think this is going to be a good trade or not? And then you guys can answer and respond to it. And then not only do I give you like the answer, but if you click this little thing here, it'll tell you at the top what the actual answer is with the response there. So it's a nice little interactive way for you to learn as you follow my analysis live that I share here in Telegram. So I will put the link in the description, the pinned comment for you to check that out. But this exact way that I'm trading, I've been trading for about a little over 10 years. I've been profitable for about 8 of those years. I've made millions of dollars in all the markets combined that I've been trading, which is Forex and crypto and stocks. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I trade, as well as some trades from last week and trades I'm looking to get into this week. Look, my goal is to make this as simple as possible for you. Okay, I know what it's like to get into trading and have so much complicated analysis and these weird expectations about what trading looks like, what profitable trading actually consists of. I get it. I was there for 2 years as I spun around in circles trying to figure this shit out. It's not easy. And I think it's not easy because people make it not easy. They overcomplicate the hell out of it. I'm going to show you a super simple, basic way to trade, which is what I've been trading for like the past. Like I'm trading this way 7 years now. I've been profitable for about 8, but this exact system here with just using support resistance, I've been doing it for about maybe 6.5 to close to 7 years now. It's so simple and it works better than anything else I've ever seen consistently and predictably. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Here on the charts, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by just giving you the abstract here. I feel like that will be able to make it a lot simpler for you. So as price goes up and down on the chart, you have all these random areas where price bounces. Okay, so you just have price going. Sometimes it goes up, sometimes it goes down, sometimes it goes sideways. People call this uptrends, downtrends, ranges. You can call it whatever the hell you want. But here's the thing you have to understand. You cannot predict which way price is going to go. Now, some people might hear that and think it's absolutely ridiculous. How do you make money if you can't predict where price is going to go? The way you make money in trading, which is simply a form of gambling, it's just a form of glorified gambling basically, is by ensuring that when you happen to be right, you make more on average whenever you happen to be wrong. That is why the system I use has about a 50% win rate, but the half the time that I win, I make a little more than when I lose. And this is predictable, it's sustainable, and while I cannot guarantee you anything because trading's risky and most people lose money, you're probably going to be one of the 95 to 99% of people who lose money. What I can say is that the people that I do see get profitable, they're doing something along the lines of having a good risk structure and keeping things real basic and simple. So what do? I use support resistance. Support resistance is basically just saying, hey, price on the daily chart looks like it's bounced at this region before, or it's broken above and bounced at this region before. And so maybe it might bounce again if price comes down to that region. So how do you actually exploit these kinds of moves? It's very simple. When price gets into a major support zone, all you do is you buy, you put a stop loss below that support zone, not too close, but not ridiculously far either. You just put below the support zone and you put a take profit of 1-to-1 risk reward ratio. Now, what you're probably thinking at this point, if you are super intelligent, your brain's jumping forward really quickly, is, okay, if you have a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio and a 50% win rate, isn't that a break-even system? And the answer is yes, you are correct. And I'm going to tell you why that's beautiful. And then I'm also going to tell you how it actually ends up being profitable. The first reason of why it's beautiful is consider the fact that literally 95% or more of people are losing money trading. Just think about that for a second. Okay, now imagine if you use this and you just blindfold yourself and you buy and sell at support resistance with a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio and a 50% win rate. Given enough trades and given enough time, you're roughly just going to break even. So you can be in the top 5% of traders by just breaking even and not losing money. How does that sound? Blindfolding yourself, entering random trades with 1-to-1 risk reward ratio, letting them hit stop and letting them hit target. Wouldn't that be great? Well, that's the actual truth. Go ahead and test it for yourself if you don't believe me on TradingView back testing replay mode, or just do it on a demo account in the live market environments. Just literally test it out. Like, this is basic shit. Like, you can go and confirm this for yourself. You are a break-even trader if you blindfold yourself and enter random 1-to-1 risk reward ratio trades and hold them to the TPs or the stop losses. The T piece just means to take profit. Okay, so what about this? What if price, goes down here, bounces at this support zone, breaks below, then it comes back up here? Okay, well, it's bounced here a couple times as support before, and then if it breaks below and it comes back to retest, the idea would be, okay, now it might bounce away from the zone. Those are the only two types of trades I take: bounces of support resistance or breaks and retests of support resistance, which is basically just a bounce of support resistance with the context that it recently broke it. But anytime price gets into a major support or resistance zone, all I'm looking to do is buy the damn thing if it's at support, and I'm looking to sell the damn trade if it gets to a resistance. That's all I do. It is not complicated. It's not. If you don't believe me, go and follow my Telegram analysis, as I post my P&L in there regularly, and I call all my live exact trades in my Discord server here, where I just share my exact trades. This is the most up-to-date thing. Every single trade I put in here is called live in real time. And my Telegram, I post all the analysis and planning and trade insights and explanations and recaps and outlooks. This account I started in, I believe, October. I think it was September or October of last year, 2025. We are currently at May 30th of 2026. So I've had this account 7, 6, 7, 8 months, whatever it happens to be. I put $350,000 in. I've made $590,000 in profit. My broker takes a lot of fees and commissions, and so the swaps and commissions come out to be like $180K, and that leaves me with $770,000 in the account. Okay, cool. So I have more than doubled this account over the course of maybe, let's just say, 7 months. And now in this case, what I'm trying to do is get this account to $1 million. And if I get the account to $1 million, that will be almost tripling the account. And if I can do that before this coming October, we're basically in almost June now. So I got June, July, August, September, October. I got 5 more months to try to get it there by the end of October. And if I can just grow this account another like 200K, right, then I get the account to $1 million. Then I'm going to withdraw half of it. That'll be $500K. About $200,000, that will be capital gains tax. I'll be left with $300,000 cash. And I can live for years on that because I live pretty simply, even having made millions of dollars and making millions of dollars a year. It's trading as this thing where you just do the same damn thing over and over and over again. You just rinse and repeat. It is very, very simple, and it's very structured if you do it in the way that matters. All my charts and analysis here are super, super simple. It's just black and white charts, black background, white candlesticks, and then simple support resistance zones where I buy or I sell at. So whenever price gets into a zone like this and it breaks and retests and comes into resistance, then all you have to do is you enter a sell, you put a stop loss above the zone, not too close, not too far. You just put it just on the other side of the zone. You're structuring this from the daily chart. Then a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio. And half the time it's going to bounce, it's going to go to the profit target. The other half of the time it's going to bounce and it's going to go to the stop loss. You're going to win half of them, you're going to lose half of them, again, if you take enough trades. You're not going to be able to take like 10 trades and 5 of them win and 5 of them lose. As a matter of fact, that would be very unlikely. But if you take like 200, 300, 400, 500 or more trades, the likelihood of you ending up close to break even, like in a small profit or small loss, that's probably what's going to happen, like net of fees and commissions. And so how does this become profitable? We start with a break-even system. We start with the Nick Sean, super simple, basic, rudimentary, slap yourself in the face awake in the morning trading approach where you barely have to do anything. This is how you actually make it profitable. So I'm going to take all this theory stuff out. We're going to actually be looking at the reality. So the idea is that when price gets into a region where you think it's going to bounce, okay, cool. You're going to enter a sell if it's at resistance and a buy if it's at support. So me personally, I have entries here on this trade right here, CHFJPY, at this zone here. Okay, and then currently it's sitting where the market closed on Friday. I'm sitting in about 30K of profit. I think with spreads right now, because spreads widen during session changeover, my terminals may be sitting in like maybe 10K of profit or break even or something like that. But it's about maybe 20, 30K of profit at the moment. Okay, cool. So here's what I do. This is where the magic comes in. And you got to pay real close attention to this because this is how you are profitable. This is your edge right here. And I'll tell you basically, and then I'll go ahead and get into the specifics. So the way that you're profitable in manual trading is your discretion, okay? It is your applied experience presenting itself in the form of your subjective judgment, which we just call shit like, discretion, intuition, gut feeling, whatever it is you want to put into those dialectics and rhetoric to label it in the way that you feel comfortable. It is you using 2% of your brain and just asking yourself, do I think this trade is going to work out or not? And this is after you enter it, okay? So what does that discretion do? Well, here's what it does. If price pushes further into this zone and then it closes into the zone and it's not bouncing easy, that might be a case for you to say, okay, I might just close it right there and just exit the trade because now it looks like it's going to break through the zone. Otherwise, if you're right, a lot of the time it's just going to go straight to the profit target. Okay, so if it goes and closes against you, maybe you exit there. Well, what if you don't exit there? What if you say, well, I'm going to wait for it to break the zone? So then it breaks the zone. You can see I actually have an alert right here above the highs of this resistance zone. If it breaks the zone, then you can say, okay, it's broken the zone, and then maybe it closes on the daily above the zone. So you just decide, all right, maybe I'm going to close it up there. So then you exit the trade if it starts to not work out, and it starts to go sideways or starts to go against you. You exit the trade before it hits the stop loss. Okay, that's the first thing. Now, what do you do if the trade starts going into profit? Well, most of the time, you just hold the damn trade. And guess what? You could do this as an even more profitable way. If it starts going into profit and it begins to go into profit, you can add to your winning trades, and then you can move the stop losses to break even for your initial entries. And since the original stop loss is so far away, your next additional trade could look something like this, where you add down here, you move the stop to break even on these first trades, and then you put the stop loss right there, which is the same. I mean, it's lower than the previous stop loss, but it's the same basic location, right? Because if it breaks above, you're going to get stopped out. And so if it goes against you, you'll break even on your first set of trades. You'll be in a small drawdown on your next trades. You can decide what to do, or you can hold it. And then maybe that doesn't work out. It goes to your stop loss. Boom. You still lost however much it was you were risking. You can risk $100, $1,000, or like me, I risk $50,000 to $100,000 on my account. And if it gets there, then you lose your allocated amount of risk. However, if you get a trade that just takes off and starts running super fast in the profit target, well, boom, now you have one trade here, your first initial trade, which is the full profit target for 1 unit of reward. If you risked $100 and you make 100. And then if you have that second trade go and hit the profit target, or at least somewhere close to the first target, now you've made almost double what it was you were risking initially. And the risk stayed the same the whole time. So this is a little bit more advanced, which is adding to winning trades. But I mean, it's really not though. Like the trade starts going into profit. You shouldn't be adding when it's like 90% of the way to the profit target. But if it starts moving like, 10, 15, 20% towards the profit target, yeah, if you want, you can add to that winning trade. You can put a break-even stop for the initial positions and then enter your next trade with a lot size you feel comfortable with. I usually just use the same lot size as the first trade. And then I put the stop loss above the zone, the same distance in pips as the stop loss was from the first entry. This mirrors the risk identically to your original trade. So if I'm risking 100K on the first trade and the stop loss was out here, then what that means is that this trade, if it goes and it loses up here, I'm going to lose $100,000 on this. Okay, that's how I have my risk structured right now. I literally call this out here live. So for example, yesterday at 9:57 a.m., I shared my group here right here on Discord. I'm in these positions, $74,000 of profit I'd added once the first trade started to win. And then now the trade has about $100,000 of risk. And as it starts moving into profit, I'm going to protect my first entry at break even. Okay, so, and then I put down here, I've added an entry here. It's the same spot as the first entry, $50,000 additional risk. And then CHFJPY is now $100,000 risk. And I'll be monitoring it closely if we see bearish momentum or a failure to continue, or if we see the bearish momentum fail to continue, meaning instead of price going down, we just see it start going back up. I'm just going to close. It's not going to be that big of a deal. Okay, I'll take a small loss and it'll be whatever it is. So now you got that first trade for 100K risk here for me, and maybe for you it's like $100 risk or $1,000 risk, whatever. And then this second one you can add as it starts going into profit, and you put the stop loss the same distance away, right? So if this stop loss was, you can see where is it at? 135 up here, it's 135 pips away. Well, for your next one, when you add your additional entry here, you put that stop loss 135 pips away from your entry. You're risking an identical amount as you are in your first trade. And then guess what? You move your first trade's stop loss into break even. Now, if this goes against you, you break even on one trade, and the next one, you still have your full risk open, which was 1 unit of risk anyway. But if it won, you stood to make almost double, if not double or more, than what your original entry was. So that's why I love doing this. And that's one reason I'll add to my winners. And I don't do that all the time. Maybe like half the time I add to winners. The other time I just hold it. But here's the cool thing. Even if you just hold the trade there, right? Even if you have your trade here, it starts going into profit, and you don't close it early before the profit target. If you hold to your profit target most of the time, and then if it goes into drawdown against you, you close it a little bit earlier before the stop loss most of the time. What this means is that your average win is a little bit bigger than your average loss. And now my wife is here. Come on, you have to come say hi. People like whenever you're in my YouTube videos. All right, guys, a little intermission with my wife. My wife's here.
Home from a massage.
She got a massage. She's super relaxed. And of course, she comes home to her man childishly yelling into the microphone on a YouTube video. It's trying to like gaslight people into trading properly.
Don't do that.
Okay, so right here, if you just hold it to your original profit target, on average, you're going to make more when you're right versus what you lose when you're wrong, because on average, you're closing your stop losses. I'm sorry, you are closing your losses a little bit early before the stop loss. Okay, that's the magic here. Okay, so I've given you 3 iterations of this system. Number 1, you buy and you sell randomly. It doesn't even have to be at support resistance zones. You just buy and sell randomly wherever the hell you feel like it. You can flip a coin or blindfold yourself or have your wife beat you like I did whenever I was learning trading and just beat out of you. What are we doing? We were going to buy or sell. And then you start crying and then you just say, I'm going to buy. And so you buy and then you put a stop loss below whatever. You just put a stop loss somewhere, put a target at 1-to-1 risk reward ratio. Half the time you'll win, half the time you'll lose. You are a break-even trader. Congratulations. You can thank me in the comments and you can send me emails to my support team and send me letters to my house. Actually, don't send anything to my house. Please don't come to my house. That's going to be very weird. But you can thank me because now you have a break-even trading approach. Okay, cool. Great. The second iteration of that is you get into trades, and then as they start going against you, you develop a kind of intuition, a gut feeling, and discretion. So that way you can use your subjective judgment and all the applied experience that you've got over the course of learning this and seeing this happen over and over and over again, hundreds of times, to start getting out of trades earlier if you think they're not going to work or if you think that they're not worth staying in, and then holding your winning trades to the actual profit target. So that way you get full take profits hit, but whenever you lose, the stop loss is there like basically as an emergency, right? If you lose the worst case scenario, you lose one winning trade. Best case scenario, you lose a little bit less than what the stop loss was. Maybe like 1/3, maybe 1/2, maybe 2/3 of whatever the stop loss was. So you keep your losses a little bit smaller, your winners a little bit big. And then we move to the third iteration of the trading approach, which is that you can start adding to trades if you see that it is a good opportunity to add. Sometimes it's in profit, and sometimes I'll even add in a little bit of drawdown if I've pre-planned it. Like if I'm going to risk 100K on a trade, but it's not really all the way deep into the resistance zone, I'm trading off the support zone or whatever, then what I'll do is I'll start a position because it's worth taking, but I'll only risk 50K, and then I'll have a plan to add if it goes up further into the zone against me, and I'll add with the same lot size, the distance in pips to that first stop loss will actually be closer for that second position. So that way, instead of risking like 100K, the risk might go from only 50K to now with the additional trade, it'll be an extra 30K. So now I'm risking $80,000 total on the trade instead of 100K, but I still stand to make that full unit of profit, which might be in this case like $100,000 or more. And so it's beautiful when you get to do this because you can start with a break-even trading approach that I've just given you, that I've probably said it, 6 or 7 times in this video just to try to drill it into you. We don't need to be taught as much as we need to be reminded. That's why you guys who've been following me for a while see me saying the same damn things in these YouTube videos. Okay? It's just the same shit over and over and over again. I have nothing else to sell you on. I'm not here to tell you to trade the ICT, SMC, institutional, order block, liquidity, fair value, distribution gap, Kobe stake, bullish Wagyu beef, candlestick strategy, entry mechanism for trading like the banks or the institutions. You don't need to do any of that bullshit, okay? We are trying to exploit small moves in the market to just make a little bit of money and to just make a little bit more when we're right versus what we lose when we're wrong. I'm not telling you to sit here trying to get 1 to 1,000 risk to reward ratios or 1 to 100 risk reward ratios or even 1 to 10 risk reward ratios. I'm over here saying, look, dude, you can just use a 1 to 1 risk reward ratio. And if it goes against you, you have plenty of room to get out of the trade early. And if it starts going into profit, hold the damn trade. And then you can graduate from that break-even approach to start making a little bit more when you're right versus what you lose when you're wrong by holding your winners and cutting losses a little bit earlier. And then you can do even more shit with it, like starting to add to positions as they begin to move into profit or tightening up stops to be a little bit closer if a trade starts moving into profit to reduce your risk on average. And then if it goes into profit, you make a little bit bigger gain whenever you happen to be right. It is a super, super simple basic trading approach. I've been using it for years. Most of the videos on my channel you see here, especially for the past few years, it's just me using support resistance with varying risk structures and all sorts of things I've tested over the past decade that I've been trading. But it all boils down to the same basic concept. The fact that you got to keep things simple and you have to control risk in trading. I've just given you a full setup to do that with. Now, as far as this week, what I'm looking for to trade is obviously I'm in CHFJPY right here. Here's a trade that I took last week where I closed it at a loss, and I'm going to show you this. I'm going to show you how I structured it and everything. So I entered a sell here at this resistance zone. I put a stop loss above the zone, which was up here, and I put a target at 1-to-1 risk reward ratio, which would have been something like that. So initially this started to go into a little bit of profit on the daily candle, but then it started to push up and it went against me. I ended up closing right here. I want to show you where I closed this trade so I can show you how this actually works whenever I'm wrong. I'm proud of my losses because whenever I lose, it's not a big deal at all. Okay, so on NZDJPY, I put NZDJPY is not working, so I'm closing her here. And you can see what I did is as it went up, what I did is I added again, thinking that it might have a pullback back into this little zone that it just broke. It might fall and then retest it as support. So that way I could close my initial position at break even, have a profit on my second position. And that second position, you can see the risk was only like $5,000. So it's barely like 5K. That's all I risked right there. I think actually it was a 6K risk. Yeah, it was just $4,500 drawn on at that moment, but the risk was about 6K and I just put it above the little recent high that had formed. And so what happened is this didn't work. It broke above the zone. And so I closed this here and guess how much I lost? Instead of losing 50K or 100K, I lost, this is basically 22 and we'll round that up to 5. So I lost 22 plus 5 was 22 plus 5. That is $27,000. So I lost $27,000. So on $100,000 of risk, that would have been like a fourth of the distance of the stop loss. And on a $50,000 risk, which I believe is what this one was originally, that means that I lost about half of what the original stop loss was. And that's with an additional entry. And that's where I could have made money even if I had been wrong. Because if it had fallen into that support zone, I would have made a little under 20K on that second position I added, which was very safe. And then in the first position, I get everything back that I was in drawdown on and I break even on it. It's like a win-win. Unless of course you lose. And then if it's not a win-win, then it is a win-win or a win/small loss sometimes because you're never going to take a loss that wipes out your whole account because everything's structured. So in this case on NZDJPY, I lost this trade, but I controlled the risk well. And I'm proud whenever I lose trades that have controlled risk structured because I lose a reasonable amount. And whenever I'm right, I win a good amount. You want to see a trade that I won this week for $100,000? And before we start getting crazy here, let me just show you here in Telegram where I shared this analysis in this trade. Let me go so that way you can see that it was live. Okay, here it is. So I posted this on May 27th at 8:30 p.m. I put NZDJPY is sexy right now. Okay, so I share the analysis here in Telegram. All right. Now here's what I do in my actual the server where I call my trades here in Discord. This is a subscription group server where you can watch me trade live. You can ask me questions and shit and everything like that, and I'll help you. So here it is, 8:30 p.m. So around the same time as I'm posting on Telegram, I'm putting this right here, NZDJPY. I'm going to be going short right now. I've got the analysis posted here, as well as an entry of my actual live terminal, showing my live terminal P&L, my actual entry, every single thing. I don't do this shit where you've got all these gurus sharing their trades. I don't call this a signals group because it's more like a private trade journal where I just post all my trades in real time, and that people can just kind of follow. So it's like an education based thing. But for people who run groups where they share their trades, right? A lot of people, they'll just show you their trading view analysis, or they'll like live trade and it's like live, but they'll show you their screen. But then they hop off the live trading session and you don't know if they actually closed or where they took profit or if they took profit or if they took partial profit or if they added or whatever. I don't do any of that shit. Every single thing I do is documented, time-stamped in that Discord server. And I just do the same thing over and over again. And so like you can see everything, you can see all the history in there. Literally the whole history since I've grown this account from 350K all the way to where it's at now with every single trade called live. And you can check it for yourself. If you ever join this Discord server, you can scroll through all the way back here to when I started this account and you can see for yourself. Every single thing is in here. Okay, so I called this trade on NZDJPY. I shared the chart terminal right here as well as the trading P&L terminal. My broker has a limit of 75 lots per trade, so I'm only able to enter like 75 or less per trade. So that's why you see there's multiple entries here. 69 lots, five trades with 69 lots each. So in this right here, I risked $20,000 on each of these, and I had to use kind of a lot of margin to do this. So I used up $200,000 in margin. My free margin was like 450K. So with this, there's $20,000 risk on each, so $100,000 cumulative risk. That's how much I was risking on that trade. I just had to layer it because my broker doesn't let me just enter whatever this is, 70 times 5, so that'd be 350 lots or something like that. I can't do that. With my broker, I have to use 75 lots or less per entry. So I layered them all in. That way I can make sure I get filled and everything on all my trades. And then that's what it looked like. So I did that, and I said I've entered NZD sell on NZDJPY with 100K risk. Broker limits me to 75 lots per trade, so I've had to layer the entries. So I got 5 entries with 20K risk. That's the 100K total risk for the trading opportunity. Time stamped 8:33 p.m. The next day, May 28th, 2026, I posted this screenshot, and this was at 3:40 a.m. What in the ever-living F was I doing up at 3:40 a.m.? I do not know why I was up at 3:40 a.m. Wow, I forgot I was up at 3:40 a.m. Sometimes I just wake up early and I start working. I love what I do. So I love do I love trading? I don't know. I like trading a lot, but I love my life and I love waking up early. I love getting coffee. I love seeing what's up, what's going on in the world, talking with my friends, talking with my clients. I love running my business. I love posting my trades. I love making content like these YouTube videos. You can see how kind of enthusiastic and excited I am. I absolutely love my life. So sometimes I just wake up early in the morning, like 3 or 4 or 5 a.m. and I just start working because I'm just happy. Like I tap dance here into my living room every day to work. I just absolutely love it. And but 3:40 a.m. That's pretty early. I don't know what the hell I was doing up that early because it's usually like 5 or 6 a.m. But so be it. 3:40 a.m. and I posted this in here. So NZDJPY hit the profit target on all these, and you can see it was for about $100,000 profit, even net of fees and commissions. And this when the account was at $771,000. That trade was a $100,000 profit. And again, this is all time stamped. 3:40 a.m. That's crazy. So that was right there. And you can see all the trade history from this account. And again, all of these further back, all of them have been called. This is the trade history for the full account since October of last year. And again, we are currently in May 30th of this year. I've made $590,000 profit after the fees and swaps and commissions and stuff. I've made about, what is this? Like $400,000 profit maybe? 400 something thousand dollars profit. That's pretty damn good. That is pretty wild. That is pretty cool. Like $430,000 in profit after fees and commissions and stuff. So that is really, really cool. But that was that trade. And you can see I held it to the profit target. I mean, this is what happened, right? I sold here at the resistance. Look how simple this is. It's a daily chart. I sold at the damn resistance zone. I put a stop above, a target below at 1-to-1 risk reward ratio. It happened to fall. I held it. It hit the profit target. Boom. I'm out. I'm out at this much loss. And then look at these trades whenever I lose. GBP USD, I had a losing trade for 30 plus 30 basically. So for 60K, I lost 60K in that trade. Euro AUD, I had a small loss for less than $1,000. AUD USD, I had a break even here. I closed it at break even because it wasn't going into profit. GBP USD, I bought. I was probably risking maybe like at least 50K on that, if not more. I only lost 5K. It was basically a break even trade, right? 10% of the way to the stop loss. So my losses are always smaller than my average winners. And that is the reason that you see a positive P&L here after however long it's been, 7 months, 6-7 months. I mean, there's almost nobody that you see that's like stupid enough to make YouTube videos here online and then trade live so you can actually fact check them to see if they're profitable. Okay, you can fake broker statements. Okay, it's very easy to fake broker statements. Use Inspect Element, use a PDF editor and make it all look professional, and then have a third-party auditing firm that you totally aren't friends with the people that work there audit your shit. No, the only way you know if someone can trade live is by watching them trade fucking live and watching them do it for an extended period of time. That's why when I started teaching trading back in summer of 2018, which was a little over 2 years after it was in my trading journey, I started a free Telegram channel, this same exact free Telegram channel I'm showing you here in this video. I started this free Telegram channel back then, and so far over the past, how long has it been? It's been like 8 years I've been running it. There's been about 50,000 people join this Telegram channel over that time period. On our polls, whenever we run our polls in here, not polls, what is this? Like, I guess I'll just call them the quizzes. We get like, 1,000 people answering each quiz. So there's like plenty of people engaged here. And this is completely free. And it's been free this whole time just to help you. And I've actively posted in here for like the past 9 years. Okay. And we even do little polls about whether or not it's helpful. And like you can score yourself to see how you did. It's a valuable resource for people who are learning, which is why I say like, look, if you want to learn trading, you don't have to pay me anything, right? A lot of people just come and join my Discord server because they've learned so much from my YouTube channel and my Telegram channel that they're like, dude, I just wanted to give back and just join the group and say hi to everyone and do a call with your team and ask you a few questions and follow your live trades. Like, I mean, it's one of these things where I try to give out as much as I can just for free. And then the only thing I charge for is just to do it live right in front of you to show you. Okay. And the Telegram, I also I document the recaps and outlooks in there. And with YouTube videos like this, that way everything's transparent and you can see. It's just most people could never. People saying they're doing shit like growing a $100 account to $1,000,000, and they swear, it was totally live, bro. Like I don't know. Like, let's just see someone do it live from start to finish, and let's see somebody do that for any period of time. Like maybe 6 to 12 months is usually enough time to tell if someone's profitable. And sometimes you can have a really bad losing streak, and even that's not the case. But in most cases, like 6 to 12 months is probably enough time for you to tell if they're able to make a little bit of a profit or not. And most people here on fucking like social media can't. That's why I just trade live to be like, look, here's all my losing streaks, here's all my win streaks, and it's not pretty. I get crucified sometimes when I'm on a losing streak. If I go on a losing streak for a week or two, not as much as before, but certainly every now and then, I'll get crucified by, a couple people being like, yo, like, you suck at trading and you've lost $120,000 this week. And this is so stupid. You're a scam. You're a fraud. And then whenever I'm on a win streak, everybody praises me. Everybody bows before me and worships me. I have to take off my hat and show them my bald, shiny chrome dome head so they can bow before me and respect and kiss the head of shiny truth and justice that is going to free them from poverty. and so it's like, it's this back and forth thing. And believe me, like, it would be so much easier for me to just make videos where I'm hyping everything up and showing we're going to flip a $100 account to $10,000 this week. And it's totally going to be live, bro. Yeah, it's live. And we're going to like fuck with it somehow. It would be so much easier for me to not talk about losing streaks when I have them, but I don't. I keep things as real as I can because I understand how much bullshit is out here. The trading industry, whether it's stocks or Forex or crypto or anything else, it is full of shit. I get it. Okay. I know what it's like to be you on the other side of this video, watching videos of people who claim to know what the fuck they're doing without backing it up. I know what it's like to be listening to people tell you so confidently, if you just trade this little simple moving average trend following strategy, bro, you're going to be so profitable. And the next week they upload a different strategy. And the next week they upload a Fibonacci strategy. And the next week it's a Bollinger Band strategy. And then you don't even know how the fuck they really trade in the first place. It's like, I've been trading more or less the same thing for years, right? For over half a decade, I've been trading more or less just support resistance zones. The only thing I've changed over time is like modifying the risk structure. I've tried different risk structures to trade in combination with support resistance, but it's all revolved around the same basic shit. Okay. So I'm just telling you, I know what it's like to be there, sitting there where you are sitting, and to be like, holy shit, I'm so confused. Everything's so complicated. One person says to do this, other person says to do that. I'm telling you, it's okay to keep things simple. It's okay to just have that simple trading approach where you control risk well and make a little more whenever you win versus what you lose whenever you happen to lose. It's okay to do that. It's not that big of a deal, and it's not really even that hard, provided you approach it in the way that I showed you earlier here in this video. So that's why I trade live in Telegram. This is just to say you should join the damn Telegram channel. It takes 5 to 10 seconds to join. You could leave if you think it's bullshit. If you think I'm full of shit, you want to go follow, FX Lifestyle. Is that guy's name? Go look it up on Google. I think his name is FX Lifestyle. Go follow that guy, or go follow SMC ICT, whatever his name is. You go learn some smart money concept trading. We're going to trade like the banks, guys. Go do, whatever the hell you want. If you think that I'm full of shit, you can't follow my simple, buy it, support, sell it, resistance strategy. Fine. Okay. I get it. Whatever. But like, if you can follow it and it's simple enough to you and you're like, okay, man, it's just so simple, it might just work. I literally show it all live, so you can do it all for yourself right in here. Okay, cool. Link in the description and the pinned comment. Now that was NZDJPY, so I lost that trade. That was a small loss. And then this first trade that I took on NZDJPY right here, that was that sell that made me $100,000 profit. And look how simple it was. All I did was I sold when price got in here to the zone. I put a stop loss above the zone and a target below at 1-to-1 risk reward ratio, and that was a profitable trade. It came back up into the zone. There was no rejection this next time, so I didn't sell, and it came all the way up into here. After this trade started rejecting this region, which was right there in those candles, I entered a sell, and this one didn't work out. It went against me. I ended up trying to add another sell up here to see if it would fall. That didn't happen. It started to curve to the upside, so I liquidated my positions, and I took like a 26K loss or 27K loss, whatever that was. So I made $100,000 and I gave $27,000 back. It's pretty good risk control and risk structure, if you ask me. Now, as we go into the rest of this week, I'm going to show you the trades I'm looking for, and they're very basic and simple, and I put them in the Telegram too. AUD/USD, I'm either going to look to sell at this resistance zone or buy at this support zone. Okay, you can pause the video, you can screenshot this, you can do whatever you want. There it is. GBP/JPY, coming into this week, I'm going to look to potentially sell at this resistance zone. However, I'm already short on CHF/JPY, and the JPY, they're all correlated. So CHF/JPY is correlated to GBP/JPY and the other JPYs. And so I don't want to be short on all of them. I just want to pick one. So for now, I'll probably just stay short on CHF JPY, and I'll leave GBP JPY alone for as long as I'm in CHF JPY. GBP CAD almost set up last week, but she barely missed coming into this resistance zone. I still have my alert up there. If she gets up into there, I'm going to be looking to sell at that region up there on GBP CAD. Euro AUD, if price gets down here into the support zone, I'll be looking to buy at the support zone. And let me just fine tune it just a little bit. Get this a little bit of a more precise zone. Okay, something like that. All right, you can pause it or screenshot it or whatever you want. That's Euro AUD. GBP USD, I see nothing, and I think that was it for the analysis, right? Okay, Euro GBP. So we've got Euro GBP. She almost came into this zone to my alert. You can see where my alert was. It barely missed by 3 pips, 3.5 pips, guys. Barely missed my alert. Literally almost set up. What would I have done? Entered a buy, put a stop below, target above. Probably would have risked $100,000 on this because it's a very clear setup here on the daily chart where we've had multiple big bounces here in this zone. It's so simple. It's so straightforward, guys. And yeah, but it barely missed the alert. So I didn't get an entry, right? I like to enter right where everything's bouncing. And so we had these wicks push into here. I was waiting for that, and waiting for that, scolded me on this one. I wasn't able to get into a trade. So I missed out on a $100,000 winner. And yet I'm still somehow profitable. Yes, you're going to mess things up sometimes and miss things. It's okay. I'm still waiting for that, though. I still got my alert down there. All right, next up is AUD JPY. I would be looking to sell this if I wasn't already in CHF JPY, but there's my analysis. It's a sell at resistance on the daily chart. Super simple. You can screenshot it or save it or whatever. Euro JPY, here's my alert, here's my setup. This is probably going to take weeks to set up, but selling out the resistance. GBP AUD, I am still actively looking for this right now. I think it'd be great. I think this is a pretty nice clear resistance zone for us to get in here and have a little bit of a bounce. We've bounced all of these times here. We bounced there as support once, and then I guess kind of twice there. We bounced as resistance here, and then we bounced as support back here a couple times. I think just based on this data here alone, more recently, support, broke below, resistance, 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 resistance. If we come up into here, I think it'd be a great trading opportunity to sell. It would be really nice. I think that'd be awesome. So that's what I'm looking for. USD CAD, if we get here into this super clear resistance zone, we will sell. That'll be really nice. This is also a trade I took on USD Canadian dollar right here, and I think I made $50,000 to $100,000 on this. But you can go see it for yourself because it's in Telegram. So go back to Telegram to, when is this? April, beginning of April. So April 1st, and I swear it's not an April Fool's joke. I think it was the second one maybe. So April 7th. So the first week of April, you can go back into the Telegram. You can scroll all the way back there. You can see where this was, April of 2026. But I believe I took a sell here and I made 50 to 100 grand on it. I can't exactly remember, but that was a really nice trade. And then I was out down here, but it kept going so far. My gosh, I could have made so much money on this, but it's okay. I don't like to be a hero, and I don't like to wait weeks for trades to conclude. I'm normally in trades for 1 to 5 trading days usually. Sometimes a little longer, but most of the time it ends within a week or so. Now it's coming back up here. If we get back in here to this resistance zone, I'm going to look to sell again. AUD Canadian dollar. Okay, AUD Canadian dollar. I don't see anything, and I think that's it. Yeah. So the rest of these trades, I don't see anything on. USD CHF. USD CHF looks okay right here. Let me see. I'm going to go ahead and put an alert here. This one looks pretty good. And I'm going to drag it up my watch list a little bit. Okay, cool. So Euro. All right, so USD CHF looks decent. All right, Euro CAD, GBP NZD. I have some clients wanting to buy GBP NZD. I don't know why I feel weird about it right now. I don't know why. It's just my intuition, my experience. I could see it maybe bouncing a little bit, but the thing is we got all these lows down here as well. And for some reason, I feel like that would be a safer bet, is to wait for it to get down into there and then buy right there. So as a matter of fact, that's what I'm going to do. I think that is better. So, okay. All right, guys, we're setting this up on GBP NZD. I'm going to set an alert right here at the zone. Let's just adjust it just to make sure we're getting everything encapsulated here. I'm going to drag the alert just a touch lower to those lows. Okay, cool. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing on GBP NZD. So cool. All right. And if we get into there, then I'll look to buy there at that zone. So the next one is NZD USD. This one is pretty good. It could take a while to set up, but I'm going to set my alert here at this resistance zone right there. It's a good one. I'll drag it up here on my watch list. And that's it. Other than that, we got crypto, we got Solana and Bitcoin, but nothing really going on in them. Still going sideways for most of this year since the end of January, early February. Just going sideways, so nothing there. But that's everything. So I'm focusing on CHF JPY this week mainly, And then we have a bunch of other trading opportunities that could set up here pretty soon. So with that being said, if you did end up hitting the like button on this video and you made it here to the end, that's awesome. As a matter of fact, if you made it here to the end of this video, put in the comments, let's do something funny. Somewhere in your comment, like leave a comment below and put somewhere 69,420. So be creative with how you put in your comment. You're like, Nick, you know, I've heard you say it 69,420 times. I got to keep things simple and control risk. And now on the 69,421st time, it's finally sunken in. It's finally hit me. It couldn't have hit me harder than if it had been the 69 billionth time that you've told me. Just put it into the comments somewhere funny, 69,420. And then if you hit the like button as well, then cool. Thanks. I really appreciate it. All right. That's all for this video. I hope it was really helpful. I hope I see you in my free Telegram channel so you can check out some of the quizzes and stuff we're going to be doing as we continue going on. And for those of you who have joined the MFX Nick's Trades group, the Discord group where I call my personal trades, welcome in. We've had a lot of you guys join this last week. I've met a lot of you guys in chat in the DMs there, me and my team. We do an onboarding call with every client who comes on. So they have the option, if you join, you can book an onboarding call with my team and you could chat. They can help you get set up and get you oriented, answer any questions you have, help you get the most out of the Nick's Trades group and help set up Discord if you need help setting up Discord. And then you can also ask me questions if you have any questions in the chat. It's really cool. I mean, a lot of cool people in there. One of you, so I've got two clients. One of them is an attorney in Florida. Another guy's a doctor in somewhere north, United States. And both of them were telling me at various points last week that they were actually getting profitable. The person who's a doctor, he's actually been profitable for like 6 months, I think he said. And that's really, really cool. And this attorney, it had marked 1 year last month, so April. But this attorney, he told me that it was a little over 1 year that he had been profitable consistently trading. He just uses like support resistance. Super, super simple. Like it's crazy. Anyway, I love meeting you guys in Discord. I'm so happy every time you guys send me messages. And I love helping. I love being helpful and answering your questions where I can. So super, super cool. If you want to hop in the Discord, the link's in the Telegram. I post it periodically, but it is just right here. missionfxtrading.com/nickstrades. And you can check it out in there in the Telegram channel, but follow my free stuff first. I think that'll be more useful. That way you can just follow the free stuff. And then if you want to follow my trades live and get a little bit more kind of hands-on with it, then sure, you can come into the Discord. That's fine. That being said, thanks for all the likes and the comments and everything. I'll see you guys in the next video. I love you all so much. Cheers.